Hey YouTube gun people, I wanted to do a video on safety checking 1911s. Here's two of them. Here is a Smith & Wesson. Let's take the magazine out of this. Nothing in the magazine. We safety check weapons because you're stupid if you don't. You're seriously stupid if you don't. And all this macho talk about safety sallies. Yeah, there's no such thing as a safety sally, folks. Gary Bromlin holster. No such thing as a safety sally. In fact, there was just a YouTuber, okay, that died from an accidental discharge. Young fellow. It's an absolute tragedy. It's a shame. Maybe it was preventable. Let's check this weapon. Nothing in the magazine. Nothing in the chamber. Point in safe direction. Hammer down. Weapon safe. Right. The first safety feature is simply the thumb safety. Okay. So check number one. Hammer back. Thumb safety engaged. Yeah. It's up. I pull the trigger with the grip safety depressed. Nothing happens. Okay. That means your thumb safety is working. Okay. Now, after I do that, squeeze it a few times, I take the safety off. The hammer should not fall, even if I depress the grip safety. With the thumb safety off, grip safety depressed, pull the trigger, hammer should fall, and it does. Okay, that's test number one. That I'll call test number one. All right. The next thing you want to do is determine if the thumb safety is holding the sear from partially disengaging the hammer. All right. So to do this, you must engage the thumb safety, right? So it's up. All right. Pull and release the trigger. Disengage the thumb safety, and hold the pistol, this part of the pistol, sort of by your ear. Okay, and pull the hammer back even further. Now I'm not hearing a click. I'm hearing the hammer hit the duckbill. If you hear a click, that's no good. So if you hear a click, basically what you're doing is it's the easiest way to say it. The safety is allowing the sear to move forward a little slightly when you pull the trigger, and that's no good. That shouldn't happen. It's a safety because it could fall forward. So that's a safety problem. In that case, you gotta bring it to a gunsmith. Most of these repairs that you're going to be doing, best done by a gunsmith, unless you really know what you're doing. Now let's just make sure the grip safety is working. Okay, hammer back, safety off. I don't engage this. Right? Just don't touch it. Pull the trigger. Nothing happens. Okay? I push it down. Nothing happens. So the hammer's not falling. You got me? Again, it only falls if I engage the grip safety and the hammer. Hammer falls. Good. So far, so good. Now we're going to check if the grip safety is you got to make sure the grip safety also doesn't allow any sear movement, just as you did for the thumb safety before. So it's basically a repeat of the click test. So basically what you're going to do is do the grip safety test again. So pull it back. You don't touch the grip safety. Pull the trigger a few times, and then simply pull it back. And you shouldn't hear any click. The only click I'm hearing here is my hammer hitting the duckbill. It will if you hyperextend it. Okay, if you hear a click before that, you know you have a problem with your grip safety is allowing the sear to be partially disengaged, so it's not locking up tight enough. Okay. All right. Now we're going to just check our disconnector. The disconnector is the part that makes you a semi-auto, right? So again, this weapon is cleared, right? I can't stress how important that is. So the way you do this is you hold the pistol if you're going to fire it like this, okay? And what you want to do now is push here on the muzzle in. Now you can see this moves in, I don't know, about a quarter of an inch or so. In that position, I want to pull the trigger with the grip safety engaged and notice my hammer's not falling. Okay? Yeah? Now I let it out a little bit. It still shouldn't fall, right? If it did fall, you get a full auto. You don't want that unexpectedly, right? Now for the disconnector, when you push back like that, all right. If you go into full, I forgot to mention, if you let it go down, it still shouldn't fall, right? So if I push the slide back about a quarter of an inch, pull the trigger, it should not fall. If I let it go fully, it still shouldn't fall. Now at this point, you also have to listen for trigger reset. Listen. Hear that click? That's the trigger resetting. You should get a nice firm reset and fire. Okay, so let's do that again. Slide back, push the muzzle back, so you move the whole slide back about a quarter of an inch. Pull the trigger, engage the grip safety. It should not fire. The hammer should not fall, rather. Let it go fully out, and with your finger still on the trigger, depressing the trigger, you let the trigger go. You should hear a reset. Okay? Now it'll fire. Let's talk about half cock for a second. The hammer. Half cock is not safety. It's a mechanism to prevent an accident if you are trying to cock the hammer and your finger comes off of it. It doesn't let the hammer fall all the way. Okay? So I don't know how well you can see that, but it's not touching the firing pin, right? And if you pull the trigger on a Series 80, it won't fall forward, right? So that's what half cock is actually for. It's not a safety, so it's not made that you walk around with it in half cock so you can't pull the trigger. That's not a safety, not meant to be a safety in that it prevents fire. It's meant to be a safety in that if you accidentally drop the hammer when you're trying to cock it, it doesn't hit the firing pin and set it off. All right. Now that's what it looks like on a Series 80, where if you're in half cock position, you engage the grip safety, you pull the trigger, nothing happens. All right. You have to have that hammer all the way back with the grip safety depressed, hammer, and the trigger. If you pull the trigger, press the trigger, then the hammer falls. On the Series 70, it's a little bit different because it uses a slightly different design. At least this new Series 70 does, where if I go ahead and, again, in this case, trying to cock the hammer, my finger slips off of it. Now in this particular firearm, you can see it falls pretty far forward, but it's not touching the firing pin. Okay. In this case, in this particular design, if I depress the grip safety, pull the trigger, that hammer will fall the rest of the way, but it doesn't fall far enough or with enough force to drive that firing pin forward and set off a charge. But again, this is basically meant as just a way to prevent an accidental discharge when you're cocking the hammer. All right, so that's pretty much life in the safety world of the 1911 in terms of just a safety check. If you take apart your firearm, especially if you do a detailed strip of it to clean it, or you take out the sear and you completely disassemble the pistol, these are important checks to go through. I would argue that even if you're just cleaning them and doing a basic field strip, you should go through those safety checks. All right, YouTube, thanks.